Assassin's Creed Shadows was announced at Ubisoft Forward in September of 2022, and in between the time of the announcement of Assassin's Creed Shadows and the release of the initial trailer giving us more information about the game, there had been rumors that the main playable protagonist would be a black man and the game would be set in feudal Japan. And even at that time, I guess you could call me fucking Nostradamus, because I tweeted out half a year before the first trailer that if Ubisoft plans to release an Assassin's Creed game set in Japan while making the playable character a black samurai, they really have underestimated the backlash they will get from a bunch of weebs and otakus who would kill to play as an ethnically Japanese assassin. And boy was I correct. The floodgates opened up of a bunch of angry losers, furious that you play as a black samurai. And it's funny because I was under the impression at the time that that would be the only playable character, but it turns out in the Assassin's Creed title, the titular character, who is the assassin part of the Assassin's Creed, is a ethnically Japanese woman. But it didn't matter at the time. There were darker things to focus on. And by darker things, I mean Yasuke being in the game at all. People went to town with all of their typical woke, DEI, diversity, whatever think pieces about why Ubisoft is ruining gaming for everyone by adding in this character. It was all the typical nonsense you expect to come with these sorts of things. Of course, ignoring the fact that Assassin's Creed has always been historical fiction. It was never meant to be something that was wholly 100% accurate to history. In Assassin's Creed 2, you fucking fight the Pope with magical powers. But it didn't matter. People were online creating fake Japanese accounts to have their fake outrage about a fake video game and a fake history made by Ubisoft. And the most saddening part about it was Ubisoft fell for the fake outrage. Shortly after everyone was shitting themselves over Yasuke being one of the two playable characters, they released an apology. And might I say, it is the worst apology I have ever seen, because as we can see here, it feels like they're apologizing for including him, period. Even though there was no reputable Japanese source that had an issue with his inclusion in the game. Let's read through this apology. The tweet has a caption listed as, "The Assassin's Creed Shadows team has a message for our Japanese community," and the apology reads as follows. "To our esteemed Japanese community, a message from Assassin's Creed Shadows development team. First, we want to express our heartfelt thanks for all your support for the Assassin's Creed series, which now has its own history spanning almost 20 years. Over this time, we have explored various settings, time periods, and characters, from an assassin during the Third Crusade to a Viking in 9th century England, and countless more. For many of our team, creating an Assassin's Creed game set in feudal Japan has been a long cherished dream. Since the announcement of Assassin's Creed Shadows, we have received many positive reactions, but also some criticism, including from you, our Japanese players. We share your passion for history and deeply respect your care for the historical and cultural integrity of your rich heritage. We would like to address a few points to clarify our intentions and creative decisions. Overall authenticity efforts. We have put significant effort into ensuring an immersive and respectful representation of feudal Japan. However, our intention has never been to present any of our Assassin's Creed games, including Assassin's Creed Shadows, as factual representations of history or historical characters. Instead, we aim to spark curiosity and encourage players to explore and learn more about the historical setting we get inspired by. Assassin's Creed Shadows is first and foremost designed to be an entertaining video game that tells a compelling historical fiction set in feudal Japan. Our team extensively collaborated with external consultants, historians, researchers, and internal teams at Ubisoft Japan to inform our creative choices. Despite these sustained efforts, we acknowledge that some elements in our promotional materials have caused concern with the Japanese community. For this, we sincerely apologize. All game footage presented so far is in development, and the game will keep evolving until launch. Based on the constructive criticism we have received, we will continue our efforts until we put this game into your hands and beyond. We also want to clarify that while we have been consulting with many people throughout the development process, they are in no way responsible for the decisions that are taken by the creative teams in the interest of gameplay and entertainment. Consequently, we respectfully request that any criticism not be directed at our collaborators, both internal and external, creative liberties, and historical inspiration. While we strive for authenticity in everything we do, Assassin's Creed games are works of fiction inspired by real historical events and figures. From its inception, the series has taken the creative license and incorporated fantasy elements to craft engaging and immersive experiences. The representation of Yasuke in our game is an illustration of this. His unique and mysterious life made him an ideal candidate to tell an Assassin's Creed story with the setting of feudal Japan as a backdrop. While Yasuke is depicted as a samurai in Assassin's Creed Shadows, we acknowledge that this is a matter of debate and discussion. We have woven this carefully into our narrative, and with our other lead character, the Japanese shinobi Naoe, who is equally important in the game. Our dual protagonists provide players with different gameplay styles. We greatly value your feedback and encourage you to continue sharing your thoughts respectfully. While we understand that meeting everyone's expectations is very difficult, we sincerely hope that when Assassin's Creed Shadows launches on November 15, players in Japan and around the world will appreciate the dedication, effort, and passion we have poured into it. The Assassin's Creed Shadows development team. Now, the first part of their apology is perfectly fine because some historical Japanese groups have had concerns with the way that the setting of Japan is potentially portrayed in-game, which is fine. I understand if that's your culture and they get something drastically wrong, like the kind of clothing that they wear or the architecture or something that is culturally significant to you guys, you want that stuff to be accurate in a game that is a historical fiction. If it is to be presented as close to accurate, that's perfectly fine. I take no umbrage with that portion of the apology. The second portion is what really throws me off, because Ubisoft has been criticized for ages for their video game characters. Alexios and Cassandra as mercenaries in Assassin's Creed Odyssey got a lot of flack, but they never came out and said, "We're sorry we portrayed them this way." It felt like what they were trying to say was, "Hey guys, my bad we put the nigger in the game." And that's endlessly disappointing because you don't want to ever kowtow to the vocal minority by giving them any amount of credence for the asinine complaints. What the last page should have read as was just this sentence: per historical findings, Yasuke is classified as a samurai. Suck our dick, play our game, or don't. Fuck you guys. It's pretty simple. And the funniest part about it is, this apology did nothing to placate the people who were mad about his inclusion anyway, because there's nothing that they could have said that would have made these people happy. The only message they would have been happy to see was, "Hey guys, we removed the blackie. You happy now?" And of course, there would have been raucous applause from the quartering and all his cadre of cucks, because they would have been so happy that they don't have to see anything darker than a paper bag in their fucking video games. And like they said, it looked like the game was still in development, and while it had an initial release day of November 15th, the game was ultimately delayed, and we got another message from the team. "Dear players, Assassin's Creed Shadows is a dream project for us. finally bringing the series to feudal Japan with many features developed with our community in mind, such as parkour or the renewed stealth brought by new technology, all set in a beautiful and immersive world. This is an ambitious addition to the franchise, a rich experience that can be lived through the eyes of two unique protagonists, but we realize we need more time to polish and refine the experience, pushing further some of our key features. As such, we've made the decision to postpone the release date to February 14th, 2025. The game will release on a broad range of platforms, including Steam at launch. Additionally, pre-orders will be refunded and all future pre-orders will be granted the first expansion for free. We understand this decision will come as disappointing news, especially to those who have been waiting patiently for an Assassin's Creed game inspired by feudal Japan. We sincerely believe this is in the best interest of the game and ultimately your experience as a player. Rest assured, we are looking forward to the moment you will embark on a memorable adventure with Naoe and Yasuke. Until then, we thank you for your ongoing support. And of course, this message was still met with vitriol from the same people who are just mad about Yasuke's inclusion, and people have begun to speculate with their bizarre conspiracy theories that the reason for this large delay is not for additional polish or making the game as good as it can be, because due to the backlash, they think that Yasuke will be getting a reduced, completely removed role from the game. But I'm here to tell you, that won't be happening. What's actually going to happen is we're making the game more woke. You thought it was a fucking coincidence that we, the DEI brigade, forced them to delay the game until February? Do you know what month that is? Black History Month. That's why we delayed it until February. We wanted to activate the powers of Yasuke's blackness and make the game even more woke with even more black power. And on top of that, you know what else happened in February? February 3rd, 1870, the 15th Amendment was ratified. That's the amendment that gave citizens the right to vote regardless of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. February 12, 1809, Abraham Lincoln was born, the man who freed the slaves. February 21st, 1965, Malcolm X was assassinated. We'll use the power of black rage to make everyone buy the DEI game. February 23rd, 1868, W.E.B. Du Bois was born. February 22nd, 1956, 80 participants of the bus boycott were arrested, including Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. And for the final touch, we didn't just delay the game till February, we delayed it specifically till February 14th, Valentine's Day, where our love for woke DEI blackness will come together and we will form the spirit bomb of woke power and eviscerate all anti-woke cucks on the internet with one video game release. Or maybe they just needed more time to polish the game. In conclusion, stop being weird about minorities being added into video games. Thanks for watching. Behave yourself.
Not my problem, that's just not my problem. Not my problem, that's just not my problem. Niggas talking shit, bitches talking shit is my problem. Niggas talking shit, bitches talking shit is not my problem, not my problem.